In the heart of ancient Africa, in a small vibrant village, there lived a woman named Adako. Known for her striking beauty and grace, Adako was married to a kind and loving husband. Together, they had 5 beautiful children, and their family was considered the epitome of happiness and prosperity in the village. However, fate had a different plan. One by one, each of Adako's children fell mysteriously ill and died. The village healers and elders could not provide any explanation or solution, and Adako was left in a state of deep despair. Unable to bear the pain of losing all her children, Adako decided to find answers from the village deity. She spent days in the shrine praying and pleading for an explanation, but received no response. In a fit of agony and rage, Adako took her own life in front of the deity, swearing that in her next life she would never have children, so she would not have to go through the pain of burying any of her children. This tragic event casted a dark shadow over her lineage. Generations later, Adako reincarnated in a beautiful young lady named Daisy. In a bustling city in the modern day Nigeria, the stories of Adako and her tragic end can be passed as a legend or a myth which will not be believed by the modern day Gen Z generation. Daisy was a beautiful baby when she was born. She was stunning with a radiant smile that could light up a room. She attracted many suitors, but she declined them all until she met the love of her life, Stanley, a kind and handsome man who captured her heart. They fell deeply in love and soon got married, creating a perfect picture of a modern day romance. Daisy and Stanley's marriage was filled with love and happiness, but there was one thing missing: a child. They tried for years to conceive, but their efforts were in vain. They decided to seek help from the hospital by running series of tests, but all the tests showed that Stanley and Daisy were perfectly alright. As days turned into months and months into years, they started visiting pastors, prophets, and imams. But despite the prayers, all gave one answer: Daisy has the power to set herself free. These words echoed in Daisy's mind, and she kept asking herself the meaning they hold. The words of the spiritual leaders often left her helpless and even more desperate. Stanley's mother, Mama Nkechi, began to mount pressure on the couple. "You need to give us a grandchild," she would say, her voice filled with impatience and frustration. The pressure became unbearable for Stanley, who had to eventually succumb to his mother's demands and took a second wife, Amara. Amara soon had 2 beautiful daughters, and her presence in the household intensified Daisy's sufferings. Amara, realizing her advantage, began to spite Daisy. "Look at you, barren woman," she would taunt, her words dripping with malice. The taunts cut deep, but Daisy remained silent. Despite her suffering, she refused to give up hope. She believed that there would be a solution to her problem, even if she couldn't see it yet. One day, while walking through the market, Daisy met a group of preachers. They handed her a Bible and spoke to her about the power of faith and prayers. Initially reluctant, Daisy began to read the Bible and found comfort in its words. Slowly, she started to believe that she could pray herself out of her predicament. The words of the preachers gave her a newfound sense of hope and determination. Daisy began to pray and fast fervently. She poured out her heart to God, asking for deliverance from whatever was holding her bound. Her faith grew stronger with each passing day, until one night. Daisy had a vivid dream. In the dream, she saw herself standing between her and her babies. She fought the image of herself with all her strength. It was a fierce battle, but she finally crossed over and collected her babies. The dream left her feeling empowered and determined to continue her prayers. She continued in faith, and 2 months later, Daisy discovered she was pregnant. The news was met with disbelief and joy. As the pregnancy progressed, the entire family, including her once skeptical mother-in-law, began to see the power of faith. Daisy gave birth to a healthy baby boy, breaking whatever curse that had plagued her for a long time. The birth of her son brought immense joy and celebration to her family. Daisy and Stanley named their son Chibuzo, meaning God first. Their home was filled with laughter and love, and the once strained relationship healed. Amara, realizing the power of Daisy's faith, sought forgiveness, and they became close friends. The bond between the two women grew stronger, creating a harmonious family environment.